be here tonight. I told my wife I didn't get in my message this morning, and I meant to preach a two-part message, and I'm preaching on the first mama in the Bible. And a lady told me, she went out, she said, I never heard that preached before. I hadn't either, as far as I know. I might have done it and forgot it. But I want you to look at it tonight for a little while. The Bible tells us that they drove out from the garden. In the last part of the 3rd chapter of Genesis, and I'm talking about Eve being the mother of all living. That's what the Bible said here in verse number 20, that she was the mother of all living, and that's why that Adam named her his wife Eve, because she was the mother of all living. And the Bible tells us that she bare a son, the 4th chapter of the book of Genesis. In the 4th chapter, she bare a son and called his name Cain, and said, I got a man from the Lord. And I think she is mistaken. I don't think he's from the Lord. Now, there's a group of people that believe that Cain belonged to the devil. Didn't believe he belonged to Adam, but now if you'll read the Bible just right, you'll find out that the Bible said that Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and buried Cain. Now that right there, I'll just take care of it. As the old saying is, it'll nip it in the bud. Now I know in the book of John, it said that Cain was of the wicked one, because that his works were evil. Somebody asked me one day, said, why did Cain kill Abel? I said, I think it was over religion. Tonight, you know, religion tonight is dangerous, and a lot of folks don't know it. My friend, religion tonight will carry people to hell tonight, but salvation will carry them to heaven tonight when you think about it. And so I want to think about Eve, my friend, bearing Cain, and then the Bible said she, my friend, again buried his brother Abel. Somebody said they might have been twins, but I kind of doubt where they was, according to this 2nd verse. I said she buried again, so it was another time, my friend, that this took place. And then the Bible said that as time went on, now we don't know how much time went on between the time these boys was born is when they brought an offering, my friend, unto God. We don't know how old they was. My friend, when it took place, I'm sure that they weren't teenagers. My friend, they must have had some age. The Bible said Abel was a keeper of the sheep, and Cain was a tiller of the land. My friend, but I want you to think about tonight. My friend, the Bible said that when time come, they brought an offering to God, and the Bible said that Cain brought, my friend, all the field. My friend, the things that he raised from the crops. My friend, but Abel brought a firstling, my friend, of the flock. My friend, he brought something, a blood offering, and a sacrifice that God wanted him to. My friend, but Cain, he done like man today. My friend, they think they're going to get to heaven by their works and their religion tonight. But we've got to come the Lord's way. The Bible said here, my friend, that they rose up after that Cain had come, and God had respect to Abel's offering, but he didn't have respect to Cain's offering. It wasn't the right kind. My friend, it wasn't a shedding of the blood. And everybody knows the Bible said, my friend, without the shedding of blood, there's no remission of sin. My friend, so it had to be God's way. My friend, but what I want you to get around to, I'm still on Mother's Day, and I'm still the first mother. My friend, but her heart got broken. My friend, when Cain slew Abel. Now, they never had, as far as I know. I don't know. The Bible said Adam was 130 years old when he buried Seth. This is after that Cain killed Abel. He was 130. I don't know how he was when Cain killed Abel, but the Bible said, my friend, they'd never seen nobody dead. And there was little Abel out there. I'm thinking that he was probably smaller than Cain, because Cain rose up and outpowered him and killed him. I'm thinking maybe he was a little smaller than him, but he was a righteous person. He was one that God had respect to. He was one that he had a life that, my friend, that his blood, when it began to soak into the ground, it began to get a hold of heaven and let God know about it. I'm not going to preach a message tonight on the talking blood, but I could, my friend, but what I want you to see, that mama come out there, the first mama, as far as we know, in the Bible, on the end time, studying the Bible, it was the first time that she ever seen anybody dead. And there was her baby laying out there. At that time, Abel was the baby. He was the last one that was born. And there he was laying out there lifeless. He wasn't moving. He wasn't talking. He was laying in her oldest son, which was, she said, I've got a man from God. He had slew her baby. Now you think about a mother with a heart broken tonight. What I want you to see tonight is this woman that I said she didn't ask to be brought in the world. God took a real bad Adam and made her and brought her to Adam, and he called her woman. And then the Bible said that she was his wife. Amen. And God, as I said, instituted the marriage. My friend, wouldn't it be wonderful if people could get back to where it was like God wanted it to be? Amen. Oh, we could have a time of our life if we get back where God wanted us to be. And let God have his way, and we surrender to the will of God. You know the reason man's not happy today? They're trying to go their way tonight instead of God's way. Stubborn people, pride in people's lives. Oh, some people's got enough of pride about them to sink a battleship if you can win it. Oh, to think about it tonight, but she saw her baby laying there dead. They didn't understand death. And I'm here to tell you, I've been preaching for over 50 years, and I still don't understand it. I don't understand it. Oh, I've heard the old preachers that get up in the funerals, and back when I was a little boy, I remember all this stuff. And they said, I know how you feel. They didn't do it. No. They didn't know how that family felt. Because everybody's different. You think about it. People have different feelings. And death might affect some people different from what it does somebody else. I'm sure it does. Yeah. You think about it. Everybody don't have the same desire because everybody wants the same car if they was. Yeah. We'd have a big problem there, but people have different cars, you see. That's what I want you to see tonight. But listen, here was a mother. I'm preaching about the first mother, as far as I know, that the Bible said. My friend, she was the first mother on the end time study of the Bible. The reason I said that tonight, because some people, they talk about the out of time. And I mention that, and then I'll be in the clear, you see. As far as I know, the first mama in the entire Bible that I use for my title, I still use it again tonight. I'll do like old James Langston. I'll preach half my message, and I'll tell you what my title is. That way the folks will forget about it, and they can't hold you to it. But you think about it, she saw him. And she probably looked at him and wondered why that he was laying so still without moving. She probably saw his blood there. She wondered probably about that. That I'm sure there was blood on the ground, because the Bible said that God said, listen, said his blood is talking to heaven. Yep. There had to be blood there soaking into the ground. And his blood was talking there. And she looked at him, heartbroken, because her baby was laying there dead. You think about it tonight. This would make a good funeral sermon, I guess. Probably if you could polish it up just a little bit and make it be just a little bit better than that. Just kind of taking it raw out of the Bible. But you think about it tonight. And I'm sure there's a lot of mothers. I remember walking by up here at Mason's funeral home, and there's a man standing there, and I guess he's older than I am now. I don't know how old he was, but he said, this ain't supposed to happen to me. And his boy had passed away. He said, the children are supposed to be burying the parents. That's the way it's supposed to go. By nature, that's the way it's supposed to go. And then not too awful long ago, some Mobius kin folks passed away. And he said, it ain't supposed to happen like this. And I walked about another day, and he lost, that's long, that time after Mac was so bad off, and and back, Lord, let Matt get over it, Caroline, and get back to going. And then here was another daddy, a preacher man of God, and he was there, and his son had passed away. And I went to the funeral home on that. But this mama, heartbroken, the first mama, you think about how she must have felt. And the Bible said that when Adam was 130 years old, that she had another son named Seth. And she said, God had given me another seed instead of Abel, who Cain slew. He give me another boy and replace that and Cain killed, you see. Oh, you think about that. A seer's thinking tonight when we think about precious mama, heartbroken. And sometimes mamas gets their heart broke more than just somebody dying in the family. Sometimes the family don't get along good. And sometimes the children have family problems and they don't get along. And you know who takes the biggest load of it? Poor old mama. Yeah. Amen. Mama. Daddy probably gets mad and mama gets sad. That's the way it goes. The daddy probably get mad about the situation, but mama will be heartbroken about it. Oh, tonight, listen. Many of a mama, I'm not going to hold you a long time, but many of a mama, my friend, have been heartbroken over their children, over the family, and how things went. And they take that load. And I told Brother Bob this morning, he's talking about their mother. And, you know, I was a big old boy before I ever knew I had a daddy. Mama raised me. Daddy stayed gone working up in Tennessee. And we was out there on Cumberland Mountain. And then we moved back to Buck's Pocket. And Daddy finally come home, went to farming, and I found out I had a daddy. And a big old boy. I don't know how old I was before I found out I really had a daddy. You think about it. Mama kept the fire burning. She kept the home warm. You know, there'd have been a lot of homes being cold had it been for good mamas. I can tell you something. Now, I pastored a church one time. Hadn't been for the good mamas of it, we wouldn't have much of a church. The ladies had to take a big hand in the church. Had to have a lady for a song leader on my second church because there wasn't no men there could do it. In fact, we didn't have many men. About 3 men is all we had in the church, the second church I had. And the women had to lead the Saturday. Of course, they knew more how to do it than men that was there. They didn't know how. But the good mothers of the church is what kept a lot of our churches going over the years. You think about it. The old men wouldn't come. And the mamas would come on to church. Bring the kids. I remember telling a mama one time, her husband would come to church with her, and I told her, I said, you just bring them kids on to church. And I said, if he wants to stay at home, he's let him stay at home himself. And she looked at me, boy, I mean, real straight. And she just kept doing what I told her to, and it wasn't long. We seen her old man coming to church with her. He finally, I reckon he got tired of staying at home, or he got team, and decided he wanted to go to the house of God and see what he'd been missing. And he went to the Lord's house. But you think about it tonight. Precious mamas. Oh, I can remember back them dear old mamas back years ago. And they had Methodist and Baptist, and they'd all get in the same service. And when the Lord got in about it, they didn't know which one was which. I mean, the bobby pins would go everywhere, and that long hair would come down. Yeah. They had it balled up, you know, on the back of a little ball back there. Y'all remember when the ladies used to do that? And that wasn't what making them shout. It's what they had in their heart that made them shout. But I'll tell you, that shout made them bobby pins come out. When the Lord got a hold of them just right. And I've seen them run and jump and fall all over the kids and shouting and praising God and never step on a baby laying out on the paddock. Now God was in that. You think about it. And thinking about the goodness of God. And you know my grandmother, I've got to think of her. She left a real impression on me when I was a little boy. And they stayed with me all my life, still today. But she said when she got happy and went to shouting, she said everybody in that house looked the same size. They wasn't nobody no bigger, no better. The kids looked the same size as the grown folks did. Now she got high in the spirit to see like that. Yeah. You know, and a lot of times people, they don't know what people see in the Spirit of God. You know, the Bible said Elisha was over there, I believe it was Elisha, and the young man went out there and he said, oh, Master, we're in trouble now. They've got us surrounded. And he said, Lord, I want you to open this man's eyes. See, he was just seeing so far. He said, open his eyes where he could see further. And God opened that young servant's eyes, and he looked out there and saw there were some heavenly hosts, had them people surrounded. Yeah. But they never did have to move in effect. God's man went out there and said a little simple prayer. God blinded them folks, and he carried them over to the council. Yeah. You know what the king wanted to do? He said, let's just kill them. Oh, he said, no, let's feed them and let them go home. Yeah. Oh, today, but good mothers is hard to beat. You know that? A good godly mother is hard to beat. That's right. Hard to find sometimes. A good godly mother. I'm talking about, as J. Vernon McGee says, puts the shoe leather right down there where it meets the road at, where it meets the pavement. I believe the way he states it in his book. He said, put the shoe down there and walk. What he was really saying, walk the talk. Don't just rattle it off. But he said, prove it, walk it, live your life before people. You know why some of them get old grandmothers and mothers had such influence on the community they lived in? They lived that life. Amen. They lived what they professed. They lived it. They lived it. Every day. See, Grandma, she carried them green beans. She was singing one of them old hymns. And the little boy around there didn't know much about God, but he knew Grandma was happy. He knew what she was singing about. He knew she was singing about somebody she loved. I knew that. But folks, it'll leave an influence, and I want to leave an influence. I want to leave an influence on my grandkids and my great-grandkids that I love God. Love the Lord, and I tell them, I wouldn't want them thinking Papa was a perfect person, and I'm not. But I know a perfect person, and that's the Lord. Thank God. And listen, if they'll follow Him, He'll lead them home to glory tonight. Amen. All right. May the Lord bless you tonight. I'm not, as I said, I'm going to hold you a long time tonight. But we don't want all that will to come to the altar and pray tonight. We had several people that passed away, and Brother Bob was talking about, and I never said nothing. He said the South must be rising. Folks passing away like there was, and you know, there was several folks. I reckon every funeral home had some up here in there. And I talked to my brother, a lot of them was out there. But, you know, the old timers used to believe when the South rose, if somebody was getting close to crossing over, they'd cross over. And then in the fall of the year, when it started falling or going down into the earth, then if they was close to death, they'd go to be with God. You think of that. And there may be something to that. I've kind of looked at it. One year we had here, people died bad all the year long. Couldn't tell the difference. I mean, there's a lot of them dead all the time. But we want you to come and pray for these that's lost their loved ones tonight. If you have anything else to pray about, you come and join us in the altar of prayer tonight. We'll be dismissed.